Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB, or you can call me Chris, and today we are going to use Asian Pear, as the stallion would say. This is a beautiful soap, in my view, from Ariane and Evans. I got it at the Shaving Shop Club, $14.39 or $3.59 per ounce, which is a fair price for a soap of this quality. Let's go ahead and show you the ingredients right there. Oh, I love the scent of this. Scent strength on this. A strong 7. I think Peter, Sneaky Pete Tricalis, likes to favor, stronger scents. Not always, but this one has got a really nice strength of scent on it, and it smells like pear. It's got some other stuff in there too, but primarily pear, and it's beautiful, and I love it. I don't know why I've waited so long to get it, to be honest with you. I've seen so many people with it. Most people love it, and now I have it. I love the other, what was the other one? Asian Plum. Yes, Asian Plum and Asian Pear. I think Asian Pear is actually a better scent than Asian Plum, so I really like this. Again, $14.39 at the Shaving Shop Club. If you're a member, really nice soap, but you can pick it up in places like West Coast Shaving as well. We're going to be using the Dovo Best Class number, what number is that? 95, 5/8 today, continuing our straight razor learning journey. And again, I want to caveat that I am learning, so I invite you all to learn with me. I invite you all to make comments and also ask questions in the comment sections, because there are some of the best straight razor shavers in the world watching these videos and commenting and giving tips. So if you are just starting or you're learning like me, then feel free to make a comment, ask a question, and some of these experts will, hopefully see that and chime in. Again, this is a new experience. Actually, it's not new to me. I have done it, but it's been so long ago, 6-7 years ago, that, I'm not proficient at it. And I didn't do it long enough back then to be proficient with it. Because honestly, I always said I would avoid this rabbit hole of straight razor shaving because I didn't want to be attracted to it and love all these gorgeous razors, but I've been worn down by people like David Gonzalez, So Sharp David, the Stallion, and of course Diamond Dave and the Swedish Three, all using all that stuff. Josh from Shooting the Shave, just so many people doing these wonderful straight razor shaves, and I'm like, maybe I should add that to my arsenal of shaving tools. So I can pretty much use anything when I want to. So that's why we're doing it. And again, keep in mind that my technique here is not that of a seasoned pro. So it's very important for me to caveat that we're learning here. I invite you to learn with me. And let's get to lathering with our Asian Pear. That's Razor Rock pre-shave on, and I'm trying to get off my hands because it's very slippery. Okay. Let's get going with our Asian Pear. One of the things that I want to mention while I'm getting some of this on, let's add some water. Straight razor shaving, and this is straight razor shave number 5, I believe, requires a slick lather. My typical DE lather is a thicker, more pasty. And quite frankly, that is a liability when straight razor shaving. You can get away with it with a DE all day and night. But what tends to happen with straight razor shaving when you go thick and pasty, it will tend to dry up on you, and then it becomes gummy, and now it's a liability. And so it's no longer helpful. So what I'm trying to do is get more water in this lather and make it less thick and less pasty. If you watch guys like Diamond Dave Card, you'll notice that he doesn't have a super thick coating of lather going. He's got a very wet and slick lather, and he doesn't spend a lot of time fooling around with it, and he gets perfect shaves. He is an absolute magician, and the same thing can be said of many of the European straight razor shavers. They're not all that finicky about making these voluptuous lathers. So as you can see, that's a little bit thin. That would be just fine. As long as I get moisture in it, it's slick, because this soap It's going to be slick because it's, you know, Sneaky Pete, Ariana, and Evan. So it's going to be slick. We are not worried about that. But the one thing you don't want to have happen is it drying out on you. And so you need to keep some moisture in it. And I will reapply moisture as necessary. In fact, I'm going to apply a little water just right here. There we go. And I shall keep wiping my hands here. Okay, let's get started today with our Dovo, which I got from David Gonzalez. So Sharp, David. Okay, let's get started here today. Can't really see right there. Not too bad. One of the things that folks have told me is, you know, sort of keep the razor moving. Don't stop it as much, which I think is a good tip. Let me rinse that off a little bit. There we go. Rinsing it off. This particular blade is not quite as sharp as the Stallion's edge. I can tell that. Let's see if we can stretch here a little bit. Just trying to get around that goatee area. I actually took too much lather off the neck there. I wiped it off too high, so we're going to set that down for just a minute and get that a little lower on the neck so we have some protection going there. All right, so let's continue trying to crane my head back and stretch. There we go. Okay, that feels fine so far. Our left hand, which we are obviously not comfortable. One of the things is it's kind of hard to see over the blade sometimes, so I'm learning how to hold it in a way that you can see over the blade. Because sometimes if you hold it the wrong way, you can't really see over the blade, and that doesn't help anyone if you can't see. Although I must say the Swedish three, they're shaving blindfolded and Diamond Dave, so I guess you don't need to see. I need to see. Let's see. Yeah, this particular edge is not as sharp as the Stallion. It doesn't feel to me quite as sharp as the Stallion edge. This one came to me from David Gonzalez. Now, he didn't hone it. He said it had been a while since he had used it. So, let's see if we go. Okay, there we go. We'll call that a first pass. And then we will move on to the next. Once again, I appreciate you, all of you, for sticking here and learning with me. And we'll learn both from my mistakes and from the things that I do right. Hopefully I do more things right than make mistakes. But again, it can be rather intimidating to try something new when you're so accustomed to having it easy. You know, because DE shaving, honestly, you know, you can do it blindfolded, you could do it quite easily, or I should say. And if you're new to DE shaving, you might be experiencing the same thing with DE shaving. I didn't lock the focus on my camera so I can see the color change in there, which I don't like. So now I locked it. Anyway, When you're used to never cutting yourself, or very rarely, it can be discouraging when you try something new and you're not as adept at doing it. And then you run into some cuts and weepers, and just not accustomed to having that happen. And it can be rather discouraging, but you just have to keep going, and that's what I'm going to do. So we realize we're not going to do everything perfect along the way. This is a learning experience, and you just have to keep it in mind. And one of the things that I tend not to do is stretch well enough, because I don't have to stretch for DE. And sometimes I'm cavalier about putting the blade to my face, which is an absolute no. That's one of the worst things you can do. I've already learned that. Stretching is sometimes a little awkward to figure out what the best way to stretch your skin is. And you see many people doing it differently. And so when I come in for the shave, I have in my head all these things I'm going to do. And then you immediately forget what you're going to do when you start falling back on your old habits. And so, let me get a little more soap there. Let's just work that up a little bit. Just want to make sure we got a slick lather is the main thing. Not too worried about cushion and all these other things people talk about. I'm worried about, I need it to be slick. Let's not take that lather so far off my neck this time. Let's leave it about right there. And so what I'll do is do 2 passes, and then I'll touch it up really quickly. So as to not make a super long video. I'm trying to keep these, I know the times on the videos are already long, and so I'm trying to keep them as to not be incredibly long. Okay, we're going to try to stretch here and go up. I am actually pulling down here, just so you know. All right. Again, you can't see it on the camera, but I'm pulling down here. Skin is really slippery right here. So I see people pulling right here, but it's super slick. I already know what I'm going to hear from the stallion. Stretch! I'm trying to stretch. Believe me, I'm trying. But one of the things is, this is slippery. This is a slick soap, so I can't get a, maybe I can. Just trying to use a light touch there. And sometimes my hands are rubbing up against my face and they're picking up lather. And so that makes it kind of difficult as well. Now we move on to the dreaded left hand here, which is a little bit more difficult for me, being a right-handed. There we go. See, I'm not stretching. Need to stretch. What happens to me, and maybe this happens to you as well, I'm so focused on the blade that I forget to stretch. And I see some guys pulling their skin like this. I can't get a grip. Maybe I need some alum on my fingers. Let me get some alum and try that. So I'm putting a little alum on my fingers to see if that gets me a little better. Oh yeah, that does help. That does help. The alum totally helps. This blade I'm going to send to the stallion for honing because I've said that before, but now that I've tried his edges, I'm pretty sure I need to send this. Pretty sure I need to send it. Which I will do, just to get it tightened up a little bit. David couldn't remember, you know, when the last time it was honed. I'm going to try to tighten this up just a little bit. Okay, we're going to call that good enough today. And we will wipe that one off, set it aside for a few minutes, touch this up real quick, and then we'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, and we're back with our Lancaster towel. I took my little twig razor and just touched up. And that went well. Again, I want to remind everybody, still learning, so please take that into consideration. I'm still tentative. You know, I'm still trying to remain very cognizant of that blade. And also this blade I think needs hone, so it's not quite as smooth as the stallion edges. So we'll take care of that, no problem. I'm gonna use little Thayers here. Thank you for the tips on the alum. I can't believe how much that helped. I could not get a grip on my face. That Sneaky Pete's Asian plum is slick. But I put the alum on my fingers there, and then, you know, I could get a hold to stretch. I would have trouble, just kept slipping, you know. But the alum does the trick, so thank you for those tips. We used Ariana & Evans Asian Plum. Great soap, great quality. I love it. Really fantastic scent. Great job. Sneaky Pete Charcalis from Ariana & Evans and the Shaving Shop Club. I really like that. We used the Ariana & Evans synthetic brush, which I didn't even mention. I love these longer handles. So Pete, if you ever consider making these in different colors, I'm in. Really, really nice. We used the Dovo Best number 95 today. We're going to send that to the stallion pretty soon for honing. But we escaped without any cuts, nicks, creepers, weepers, irritation, bubbles, troubles. So we'll call that success on number 5. And again, I got a long way to go, people. So just keep in mind, I'm learning. I hope you're learning with me. And I appreciate all the tips. The aftershave that I'm putting on here is one of my favorite aftershaves of all time. I used it for my head shave today, so I figured I would just use it with the face as well. It just makes sense. Floid Black, available on Amazon. I'll put a link below if they still have it. It is a product of Spain. It is fantastic. It's one of the best classic aftershaves in my view. I want to thank everybody for the time that you've spent with me today learning. Thank you for all your tips. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I want to remind you, it's your shave, do it your way, and God bless you all.